You need to come get your kids. You need to come right
Sound
now.
like a
Right
motherfucking
the fuck
banjo.
now, matter of fact. What hoes you with today? What hoes you with today? Yeah, well, no.
I like to shout out my nigga Batman on the beat. Sounds so smooth, don't you agree? You know, well, all my shea butter bitches in the house tonight, you know what I'm saying? We gonna do this one real proper like you did. Check it out.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Kenneth? You got us here, baby.
I know, man. I feel really good about this, man. We back home in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I see your face, but
That's where it is home. That's where we all met.
Like home. We all have our own different experiences here, but you know what I'm saying? I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of bring us back to where we, for the most part, all met.
Nah, as a collective, you're right. This is here.
That's where everything started.
11th grade.
Like. So for those who don't know, we are back home.
If you can't read,
Charles Herbert Flowers High School, the Mecca of Excellence.
allegedly.
Absolutely. We are in the Helena Nobles Jones
Rest in peace.
auditorium.
Rest in peace to Miss Jones for sure.
For sure. Fellas, 201.
Alhamdulillah.
Gotta feel good, man. Gotta feel good. We just did the live episode 200.
We did.
That was a hell of a thing, man. To see y'all second live show, just to see the live audience reaction, to see the way y'all interact, and to see how y'all interact with each other, not necessarily on camera, but this guy in particular.
This guy was fooling.
That guy was lit.
Quite.
Nigga was trying to get our attention crazy. It was just, I just love the fact that everybody had the same reaction. Because usually it's just me and Chuck, but like the whole crowd had the same reaction. It was like, bro, what's going on? And then he was just like, hey, what's... I was like, yeah, get this nigga, bro. Get that nigga.
Hey, but nah, look, man. So I kind of want to just dive straight into it. Like,
Talk to
I don't
us.
really even want to warm up, or I kind of just want to go straight into it with y'all. So, Mook, I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
That cool?
That's fine.
All right, so look,
That's fine.
you dropped Gratitude 6 months ago.
That's what I wrote, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Looking back now, like, where were you mentally at that time, right? Like, what made you want to be so vulnerable? You know what I'm saying? And do you believe your overall message was articulated well? And would you change anything?
These are damn good questions, Kim. Sure.
That one didn't
Coming in hot, man.
It's coming in hot.
We ain't came in.
But what
we
mine?
starting raw.
Yeah, for sure.
We at 201. It's we kind of.
Y'all know us by now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What mind state was I in?
Yeah.
A confusing one. I think that's why I was so vulnerable. I'm gonna just kill two birds in one stone. I was probably so vulnerable because I was confused. You know what I'm saying? Like going through a breakup and then everything that went with that, the on and off shit, and then just wanted to be honest. Like I was tired of being a hypocrite for real, bro. Like that's really where all that shit came from. Like I felt as though I was a hypocrite on my own platform instead of doing my solo episode, and I just was like. You know, I feel like a lot of people think of me as just like, oh yeah, like lose one on to the next type. And it's just like, nah, it's not always like that. Like, I be going through breakups. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, I usually just go to the next jump or the next woman for real. And not necessarily, I guess, emote. But like, yeah, last year I was just like, I'm gonna emote. And then I did it in front of everybody because I had the platform to do so. And I was just like, I felt like niggas could learn from that. It was just like, yeah, bro, like, you don't gotta be like this big macho nigga that like, yeah, bro, that shit hurt. Like, you miss that girl. You still love that girl. So it's just like, act like it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
With everybody else that you wrote.
Niggas don't be acting like it. Niggas be like, man, fuck that bitch. I'm like, is it really fuck her, bro?
Is it necessary, though?
Is it really fuck her, bro?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Niggas was just looking with them. That's
Absolutely.
all. I was just on a journey, and like I'm happy people went with me. Do I think it was perceived? I don't know, bro. I don't really think people listen to me, Slim.
Even outside of the young lady with the breakup, like everybody else that you wrote about.
Yeah, I think it was perceived with them. For sure. But I was speaking outside of everybody that I wrote about. Like, I was just talking about the general public that consumed it. Because I feel like the people I wrote about in the jump know me. You know what I'm saying? The thing that came with gratitude is like I show people a lot of gratitude personally, like how grateful I am. Like I might hit you individually or in a text message or give you a phone call, like tell you or something like that. But it's just like a lot of people, I don't think they know that like I'm a very loving person openly. So it's just like, yeah, bro, like I think that's more so where I was at with it. I think that's why my new Twitter account is I love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like on some different shit.
Okay. Charles.
Talk to me.
You just got married, man.
I did.
Alhamdulillah.
Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely. Goddamn it, make some noise for that. Make some noise for that, man.
I'm gonna say
Slow clap.
Nigga, embrace my clap, bro. What the fuck, son? Judging my clap, bro.
No, I love that. I'm happy you participated.
Thank you.
You just got married. Beautiful bride, beautiful ceremony,
Yes.
man. Beautiful company, beautiful environment. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling relieved. I'm feeling like, okay, that is done.
You got it off you.
Like, yeah, that, not even like that, but the event. Like, I've been telling people, like, a wedding is two things. It's like an event, and then it's whatever your thing is. So, like, whatever idea of love and all the things you got going, those are those two things. And, like, the event part is the stressful part. So, I'm glad that part is over with, and now I can just do kind of the love thing and just do that part.
I feel that, man. Just being there was just like very. I hate to sound like cheesy as fuck, but it was a magical thing, bro. Like the second one, like we went to New Orleans.
We did.
Beautiful ceremony in New Orleans, man. And it was just like the way the setting was, you know what I'm saying? The trees, the dress, the suit, the groomsmen, the bridesmaids, like everything.
The weather,
was just,
everything was perfect,
yes,
bro.
man.
Like that shit
Yes.
was crazy.
Y'all folks was there.
Yeah, it's funny you say magical because it's funny. Like I remember changing my vows, and one of the words I ended up putting in was magical.
Yeah.
And I remember that just
Yes.
randomly.
I read the vows. I wasn't supposed to, I don't think.
They were in your possession for a little bit, though.
Oh yeah, you hold on to them. Yeah.
I pulled up on y'all before before everything went down, and I couldn't help myself. It was sitting on the dresser. I noticed what it was, and I looked at it. I looked at Charles. I looked at it, and I asked permission to read it. And I couldn't contain myself. The shit almost made me teary-eyed a little bit. Like it was beautiful.
The
I wish
liquor
I
had
could've been
you.
there.
The liquor had you.
No,
you were
I
like,
wasn't
yo.
even there.
He wasn't
I
there
wasn't
yet.
even there.
We were gone by then.
Yeah, a couple. He was like, you know what? I'm about to read this shit. I was like, bro, you sure? I don't think you're supposed to.
You gotta relax.
I'm just telling you what I remember.
You gotta relax.
Telling you what I remember is Joe.
Was there, guy? Randomly a lot. At the time of my life down there. Thank you, Charles and Caitlin. You know what I mean?
High five me, baby.
Up top.
Those was
Good time. Good
Definitely
vibes.
life-changing. That was like that's top 5. One of the cities I've always wanted to go to, just
Oh,
for
for real?
closer to art. Like no bullshit. Like I've always wanted to go there.
No, it's a vibe, man.
Absolutely. If you haven't been, I recommend that you go and go immediately. Try the Gator Nuggets. They're amazing.
John says bomb, no.
Yes, the Gator.
The Gator Nuggets are
I'm
bomb.
glad y'all like that because that was my thing. I was like, yo, get that alligator on there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I had to low key make sure it wasn't no alligators like nipping that. We was on like it seemed like
on a golf course. Yeah.
And it was like, yo, once you go past beyond where the lights were, we was there for the reception.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's
bro, I
definitely,
can't.
it's definitely a little swampy out there.
You know what I'm saying? Because, a group of us, we kind of stepped off for a little bit, do what we do. And once we pretty much got past where the light line was, I stepped no further and I turned my black ass around. I don't mess with gators, bro. I'm in their environment, so that was a no-go for me.
I'm in the South.
Everything else was amazing.
I just can't venture far away from my people when I'm in the South.
Facts. Maddie, what's up, man? You look stressed.
Do I?
Yeah,
A little
you gotta
bit.
do.
A little bit.
Slightly, nothing crazy.
A little bit.
I've been actually better.
A little sweat.
Regaining you,
I was
huh?
gonna ask you a couple things, man. Like you've been,
What's up?
you've been pretty busy, bro.
Very.
You've been very busy. Man.
Always is.
Just, I don't think people know how much you do behind the scenes as far as like the podcast and just low-key producing everything that you do. You producing another podcast on this. Actually, like what? Three different ones.
Three.
Maybe
Depends on the
4.
season. You know what I'm saying? September's rearing its head. You know what I mean?
How are you really you shouldering that with, you know what I'm saying, producing? Don't look surprised. These questions are coming in.
No,
hot.
I'm not surprised.
So how are you shouldering that? You know what I'm saying? The responsibility of the
nigga Walter
podcast,
Cronkite.
the responsibility of children, being father. You know what I'm saying? And then just kind of making it all work, which you do.
And your own business as well.
Absolutely. And you find time to do it all. Work on top
Manny
of that.
petties.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look at you.
how do you show all that? Like, where does that strength come from, low key?
I mean, it's kind of funny, right? Every time someone asks me like a question these days, I'm not gonna be an asshole right now. But anytime someone asks me a question,
You can, it's your show.
I literally am just like, yo, did you watch my episode? Like the answer is pretty much in there.
No,
But
I
usually,
feel that, bro.
the people that I'm talking to, they said they watched it. So I'm like, yo, have you watched my episode? I could be an asshole and say, my nigga, you were there. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
So, but again,
But this isn't for him.
I know, but to answer the question, in the episode, I definitely spoke on just the fact of my upbringing, just the people that I was around, the nanas of the world, my mothers of the world, fathers, uncle. Everybody was just super hardworking, and it was just like, you just gotta work. I made my eyes get a little big when you said how I showed her all this, because I honestly don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. There's so much shit that I do every fucking day. And it honestly amazes me, but I think it's just so much shit that I don't even like look back on it or enjoy it in the moment or just praise myself enough just because it is so much fucking shit. Like the 2 kids is crazy every day. The behind the scenes shit, like you said, is crazy. Like I woke up May 15th and I was just fucking, I was like, bro, like, I'm done. I felt relieved that it was over. Obviously I'm talking about the live show. It was just so much shit. It's always just so much shit. And it's just like, I feel like if I can make it happen, I can make it happen. Like I always feel like I can make it happen. Like I'm always gonna be there to raise the kids. If there's something that needs to happen with this show, I can do it. Fucking, like you said, 3 other podcasts, I feel like I can do it. As long as I have the time for it, and as long as the people I'm working with just knows to bear with me, yeah, I feel like I can do that shit, bro. It's definitely tiring. I'm fucking tired every fucking day. And I'm not stressed right now, like how you just said. I look stressed. I've been very fine since May 15th, bro.
Good.
Regained me.
Good. I'm happy to hear it, man.
Yes.
I'm happy to hear
I've
it.
been very, very, very happy, honestly, since November. It's been a great time.
You definitely the same, man.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. I love to hear it.
Good
man.
space, man.
Love to hear it.
Alhamdulillah.
But I would love a vacation.
I feel that.
Like a vacation.
I feel that. So look,
Toes in the sand type.
well deserved.
Need
I think all 3 of y'all well deserved, man. So look, with the solo episodes dropped, 200 out the way, what was something that you all learned from watching each other's solo episodes?
That's a good question.
I could say that. So obviously we're all different, right? But I really realized that we're legit, like really all fucking different. Like all of us, legit.
Explain.
It's just like the aspects of all of our lives are all just different. Like
Yeah, I
the
see what
shit
you're
that
saying.
we've all gone through, it's just like, obviously we're friends because, you know, we're like-minded, we think the same, we kind of are the same, but nigga, niggas jive different, man. Like,
Huh? That's for sure.
mad pain came from 2 of the 3 of us. Other guys just vibing. It's just like,
I think that's
what?
now that I think about it, and Katie, that's an actual funny question. I think the thing I took away from it is exactly what he said. It's like I
We
did.
talked about it in the chat.
Yeah, like I gave up nothing.
Yeah.
Like
Charles came up
it's
zero.
and it's not that I didn't want to. It's just that like
That wasn't the vibe of your
yeah, I
job.
just feel as though like for my aesthetic personally, like pain and trauma just doesn't work for me. Like I don't know why. It's just like even when I know bad things are happening or have happened, it's just like it's a much better aesthetic just to be like vibes. So I really feel as though
I feel like that's kind of always been like your vibe.
you
Like,
that's,
been Charles.
that's always like
like
if no matter what's going on, I'm just a vibes type of person. So like
When I started hanging out with Charles when I was like 16, you know what I'm saying? Charles was like the very first nigga I've ever met who was just like, he was the most go with the flowy ass nigga I've ever met in my life. Like, I mean,
I think that's how me and Charles really connected.
At 16.
like free spirit type
kinda
shit.
nuts.
Like Charles was down for what the fuck ever. Like seriously, like I didn't really hit the streets with y'all a little bit at 16. This is wild, but when I did,
We was outside at 16.
He was outside, bro.
Niggas was outside at 16.
And this is coming from a guy who was barely outside.
Yeah.
Charles was like the livest, free flowingest, free spirit motherfucker you could ever be around. And that shit was just so eye opening because everybody else that I grew up around was either like serious, funny, just like very real, down to earth, but like I've never had anybody in my life who was just like a hippie.
Nah,
A fucking hippie. That's
honestly,
the word, man.
you know what's so funny? I think I was like maybe 14 or 15, and then I kept watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club. And I remember like those were literally
Two of Charles's favorite
like my
movies,
two
by the way.
movies.
Yeah.
Like so I just kept watching those movies, and then I kept watching Clueless too. So Clueless and 10 Things I Hate About You. So for like literally for like a 4-year stretch from like 13 to like 17, 18, like my whole aesthetic was those 4 movies and then Brown Sugar, The Best Man in the Wood. So like those 7 movies from like age 13, there's a few other
And let's
movies.
think about the time periods that these movies and shows were.
City
came
of
in.
God.
Yeah.
So that's another like so there's like I could probably give you like 14 to 15 like shows, Californication, that I just kind of was like, yo, this is my life. And I just like took little aspects of like so like that when you say that hippie, that's the funniest part because when I think back in my life, like that is definitely my hippie phase because that's all I was watching. I was watching like 80s, 70s, 90s movies and like I wanted to dress like that. I want my aesthetics to be like that. So that's hilarious.
That's a good look. It's like a signature look for you, Jal. Like,
Yeah, nah. Like I have fucking tie-dye shorts on right now. I don't know why, but
Or was that acid wash, maybe?
it might be. I guess you would call these acid. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
all right, so
I was gonna say bleach was like bleach wash is crazy, but
There we go.
bleach is acid, so
acid wash.
yeah.
Good point.
So look, after your solo episodes drop, right, and y'all can answer this about each other's solo episodes if you like. What was personally, what was the reception that you felt? Like, what was it? What you were expecting? Was it not what you were expecting? Did you get any love? Did you know what I'm saying? Like, how was that for you? Just to receive that after it dropped. What was the anticipation like in the aftermath?
Well, I know for me.
Yeah. Let's start with you.
I know for me, the streets were,
They were clamoring.
I wouldn't say clamoring. The sound man hive. It's like, nah.
The sound
The
You
streets.
definitely have a hive. Like you definitely have a hive. After your episode, you got a hive, bro.
I still need 200 views. But after after my joke, I mean, the word that was just coming to me very often was vulnerability and shit. And honestly, like during the recording, I didn't even think I was giving too much personally. Look back and I was like, damn, I did give that up. Oh, I did give that up. But I mean, vulnerability was the key thing. Like everybody, I didn't have anybody say anything negative about it. Everybody felt the vibes. Everybody was like, I learned something about you that I've never known. I was just like, I guess that's what this was for. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I mean, the V word was the word for me, so that's all I got. Still need 200 views.
I think watching theirs, I would say like openness. Like once again, like scratch like the pain and the trauma. I just think these guys were far more like open in a way that like I talk to them like all the time, every day type shit. So I kind of know this, but it's one thing to see it, especially because people were interviewing them. So it's one thing to be talking via text for days on end,
Just
or
being
like
open with your man, talking the situation out.
and it's free flowing. There's no real like start and stop. But then to watch it back and then like
Put it on wax.
you know, and then to have somebody prodding, I think that's the thing that was like you and Miles in particular. Like, you asked them questions. I was just like, oh shit, like y'all kind of went there, and it's interesting because knowing these two guys. I'm not saying that they're prideful, but these are guys who like they're not just giving stuff up. Like I know people who kind of are just like, here's my life. that's not these guys. So like watching that back and being like, oh shit, like they told y'all some things. Like, oh wow, like that's interesting. Like they were comfortable enough to be like, oh, this is going out for all of y'all forever. So
What was crazy, I don't mean to cut you off. What was crazy for me, because like you said, definitely talk to Miles often. But like prior to us doing that episode, I didn't talk to this man as much for like 2 weeks. So that was like the first time I seen this man in months since we was in Florida. And then I just see him for like an hour prior to we set up, and then we get going, and I'm like, damn, like this is what we doing right now. It's kind of going crazy right now, but it was a vibe. But yeah, definitely want to give it up, man. I gave it up. So
RT James on the V word. That's mostly what I got. I'm proud of you a lot too. I hate the fact that people are saying they're proud of me.
you know what? It's funny. I overheard you having a conversation with Lloyd and Noya about like people saying they're proud of you, and you being like, what were you like? What does that mean? What did you think about me prior?
Yeah.
And I never ever actually thought of that like as a concept, but I just overheard you saying it, and I kept it in the back of my mind like, damn, that like. There's something to that. Like, once again, I can't speak for you, but I heard you say that, and all I could think to myself was like, damn, like, how does that make someone feel? Because, like,
Yeah, bro, like, I don't even like saying I'm proud of other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't like saying it. But, like, people was talking about, oh, yeah, bro, I'm proud of you for, like, being so open and, like, getting through everything that you went through. And I'm like, my nigga, like, where the fuck was you at? How the fuck can you say you proud of me and you had no assistance in this? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like for you to just be like, oh yeah, I'm proud of you and being open and all that shit, save it, champ. Like, I don't need that. Like, just say like, I'm happy that you was open and vulnerable and like it was a good episode. But other than people talking about like them being proud of me, because like the people that were actually saying they were proud of me, like other than y'all, and like niggas actually know me and like females actually know me, like it was just random people like hit me in the DMs talking about, yeah, I'm proud of you and all this extra shit. And I'm like, I ain't talked to you in like, some people I was like, Sam, I ain't talked to you in like almost 10 years, like a real conversation, other than like an IG DM and shit. You know what I'm saying?
maybe they the Mukab guy.
Man, suck my dick, make it known. But it's just like, nah, real shit, bro. Like, what I opened up about with my jump slam, and then you gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm like, Slim, fuck out of here. You knew I was fucked up. Some of them people knew I was fucked up. They knew me when I was fucked up.
Okay, that's different.
And then it's just and so it's just like, now you like, you proud of me?
Yeah,
now that's what I'm saying. Like when I heard you overheard, because I didn't say that, but I just really, it really was like, you know, people, you know, it was like, you know, like you said, you don't see somebody for a couple of years, and you're like, oh, and it's like, damn, like what actually is that person feeling? Because it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, you know, like. Especially when people are being vulnerable, because I think that low-key, I'm not gonna lie, that's why I'm not giving. That's why I didn't give it up, because I just feel as though once you give up stuff, that's when people feel
like they got, it's like
an opening. People feel as though this is now their chance.
We can talk about this now.
You know,
and it's just like, Slim, if I ain't talk about it with you before, then don't think I can talk about it with you now.
That's what I'm saying.
As people came to you off some, you said this, like let's talk about it now, because ain't nobody hit me off some.
Hey, bro, the only people I think that can hit me, that will probably hit me up off my jump. One kirked on me on Mother's Day, and
dropping names again.
And then no, I ain't saying no names.
Kenneth.
One kirked on me on Mother's Day, and then another one kirked on me. The other people, Slim, they ain't talking to me. Fuck them.
Future-o-matic. Let me stop.
No,
Yeah, shut up.
no, you can see everything I'm saying. You can keep in, but like no, like it's only two people out there like that would. Two groups of people that would be upset, and one of them, they some bitches, so I doubt very seriously it's in their bloodline. They not gonna say nothing to me. And then the other one, she doing whatever she doing. I wish her the best though. May Allah guide her, keep her safeguarded, and all that though.
Once again, growth.
This is a random question. Have y'all mothers heard y'all solo episode? I know yours has.
Yeah, my mother watched mine.
No, Charles?
No,
I'm gonna say Stella's not watching that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know.
I just feel as though, once again, it's one of those things where I feel as though we gave up enough. At least for me personally, like that. I don't want them to watch it and maybe feel some type, like, because I don't even remember some of the stuff I said. So like I know things could get lost in translation sometimes. So I would hate to come across like, oh, I said something that, you know, maybe she didn't or didn't like. So
because I was going to ask you specifically, because you were, I want to say like the less open.
No,
so to
no,
speak.
that was fat.
Is there anything like after seeing all three of them and how they lined up? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there anything you would change as far as like the vulnerability or anything else you would open up? Is there anything you would change from your episode? Possibly a part two, because I really would like to do a part two with all three of you.
No,
I
that's.
feel like it's due.
I mean, I would do a part two for sure. Because I think
I
people.
got enough
Or
views.
part three, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, right. I think people's lives are interesting enough. I think every like, I forget what season, but it was one season when I was like, yo, I think everybody's life is interesting in some aspect. Like, no matter who you are, like the person, a homeless person, or an unhoused person rather, like their life is interesting for some aspect, and you're never gonna figure that
The proper term is displaced.
displaced. I'm sorry. I don't think like you'll ever figure that out in an hour 20, hour 30, no matter what the conversation is, no matter how good. Like I don't care if it's Walter Cronkite. So like I just don't know if that works. But I think for me, I don't think I would change anything. I think low key the line of questioning is what did it for me. So if there were different questions, yeah, I'd probably answer differently. But everyone got what they were supposed to get.
Yeah. My mother definitely watched mine. I didn't know she watched it until we talked about it. I think either New Orleans was the first time or like it was like the week of New Orleans or something. And like I was on my way to work and she was just like, "Boy, you had me crying last night." And I was like, "What the fuck did I do now?"
I had a moment to talk to her about it in New Orleans, and she was super emotional and very proud of it.
Yeah, she
You know what I mean?
yeah. One thing she told me was like she said she was proud of me for being that open and talking about those things because like that's my mother. She knows that some of that shit has been affecting me since. And then her hearing the fact that she was like some of that I didn't know about you. I was like interesting because I was like y'all know me. I told mom I like everything, bro. Like it's no secrets between me and Shawty. So for her to be like I didn't know about that, I'm just like. Thought I told you about that, but I can see how I didn't tell her I was detained in the back of a police car handcuffed. I can see how I didn't tell her that.
You wouldn't tell you if she don't already know.
Unless I'm
like-
already like, unless we downtown, I gotta make that one phone call. But I ain't tell her about that, and there's a few other things I ain't tell her about that she was shocked about, and like how well I was able to handle it and shit. Like the shit with my father. Yeah, she ain't know nothing about that. It was just me and him in the house. I don't think she would know, but yeah, that's it though.
And your mama just, you just keep her in the dark or what? You just,
Yeah, my mother's in the dark for sure. For now. For now.
for now.
For now.
When you get to 200 views, you gonna invite her in? You gonna turn the light on?
Nah, man, it's a crazy story. I'm not even gonna blame it on the TV, but I'm gonna blame it on the TV. Like we used to just watch the shows on the smart TV
Okay, understood.
in my living room, and it's broken now. So yeah.
Shout out nephew, man.
shout out to J9 for
Shout out,
breaking
man.
the
That's my
TV.
guy, man.
Force of nature.
Starting early.
But honestly, I think I would get the same reaction that Chris said that the Tish gave, talking about I didn't know this about you. Like I don't even know. I mean, again, I don't think I gave up too much, but it's like, I was giving up like my 16, 17-year-old self, and I think she knows the 16, 17-year-old me and the transgressions that have played in my life. Now, when Miles asks about the toxicity of a man I am with women, you know, she might not know that. She might be like, yo, my guy. Like,
What's up?
My God.
all right. I did not teach you this, you know what I'm saying? But
Honestly, bro, come on.
I mean, she
That's
knows.
a bad vibe, bro.
She knows my vibes, but at the time, like, I think it just goes back to it was so much going on, so I wasn't gonna be like, yo, hey, I did an episode, sit down, watch it. They know we recorded these solo episodes. I told them that, like, we're doing this one, but have they seen it, or excuse me, she seen it? No, you know, maybe like month 3 from now. She's still mad. She's still mad about last Saturday. So,
You should see how she was looking at him.
oh, I seen it before I took the L.
I caught a small.
Yeah, she was not too happy.
I looked over and she was just on the junk like this, just looking, and I was just like,
She was definitely
my
out with you,
bad.
bro.
Moms was paying attention
I
last
told her,
week.
yeah, no, whatever,
It was a celebration, baby.
for sure.
Forgive me.
Had a long week. It was a culmination of many things. That's what I
I
keep
could
saying.
imagine, brother.
Barely sleeping, kids, setting up. Everybody want to drop out. Shout out to all my hosts.
Damn sure all of them.
Shout out to all of my hosts. You know what I man. But thank you, KD. Came through in the clutch.
I do my best to be here.
Doing a damn good job, son.
Oh my god.
Damn good job, son. That's
People keep
ridiculous.
saying Nomadic gave up a lot, but like knowing you, I don't think you gave up a lot.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I could have wilded out.
You said some stuff like you gave up.
Well,
some
that's
stuff.
the
I
thing.
reeled it back in.
But that's
I
my
coulda went
thing
crazy,
about
but
giving
I'm not
up.
doing that.
Well, that's my thing about giving up a lot. Like, if people don't know,
KD was trying to get me to get like.
but I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. If people don't know and you give up more than they know, that's giving up a lot.
To me, that was the whole point of it. It's just because people don't know y'all like I know y'all. You know what I'm saying? And
That's what I'm saying.
People actually really know
there
us.
There were things in each episode that I learned about each of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And that was, it wasn't much that I had to learn, but it was still good to know that there were things that I didn't know, and that was the point. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Didn't learn much,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
I learned enough.
Smoke, drink. We have good topics. We have bad topics. We have funny topics. We have serious topics. But it's just like we never really dive in on y'all a little bit, and I feel like people not necessarily deserve, because that's a little bit entitled, but. It's good for people to see a certain side of y'all that they don't get to see. It's refreshing. It's eye opening. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different view that I think is.
We're human. That's what it gives. We're human at this
Absolutely.
point. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas got to see.
It's gonna cut me off.
My bad.
I'm playing. I'm fucking around.
All right, bro.
But no, this is another question. I think
We're interviewers now, though.
Yeah,
I think that's where it comes
Y'all
into.
too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you be asking questions, bro. Shut up.
you definitely be asking
Like,
questions.
but it's just
tap
like
in
we're
every
interviewers now, so like, and then like the topics that we talk about, it's kind of hard for us. Well, me speaking, it's kind of hard for us to be like speaking from a first person point of view, at least for me, because like some of these issues in the world, I'm not dealing with.
I feel
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not in certain tax brackets, so that law policy doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like Charles might be in that bracket.
No, not me.
Yeah, okay, Charles isn't even in that bracket. You know what I'm saying? Like homeowner laws, that's what I'm talking about. Like homeowner laws, like those shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Certain tax benefits, things like that. Like I can't talk about it like from a first person point of view. Like I can only speak on it from like the research that we do. And like we don't do topics like when we sit down and record. Like me and Charles will be outside smoking and I'll be like, what we talking about today? And then we'll talk. He'll give me 2 or 3 things and we'll be lucky to hit one.
That is a fact. For everybody who doesn't know, the outline of every show is raw as fuck.
Yeah, like
That's why I had nothing for the run-up show for the live show. I was like, bro, I don't even want to read this. I get it, though.
I do
read it,
appreciate
but
that
I
we
didn't.
hit so many topics, though.
Nah, for
yeah,
sure.
I do too.
But I was just like,
Because like when we do topics lined out like that, that shit don't really, it'd be corny sometimes, but the live show for the 200 showed me, it was like, oh, so we can like implement a couple topics, but like we can't get away from like what me and Chuck do type
that's
shit.
okay.
You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
formula at this point.
It's how we've always been.
Yeah.
Like,
My bad. I ain't
no,
know if I was
I'm done.
What's something that, and this is again another question for all y'all. What's something that your co-host doesn't get enough credit for? You think
That what?
that your co-host don't get enough credit for?
I mean, for Matic, I think we already spoke about it. All the work he put in, bro.
Facts.
I think a man doesn't get enough credit for being insightful.
Yeah.
I think himself, because he downplays like how much he does or doesn't talk. So I think that in itself, like a lot of times, like just like Mook said, the topics aren't really pre-planned, and when we do talk, it's me and him. So let's say there is something. I said I wanted to talk about Clarence Thomas. So like, let's say we're talking about Clarence Thomas. Omatic always has an insight that might not be like
What
per
me and
se
Charles is.
or what we're talking about, but it's always insightful, and I believe that because like he's a thinking person, far more than he might want to like lead off to people, but
or
like
admit.
or admit, but he's far more of like in tune with all those other things.
Facts.
I think for Mook is far more patient. I think sometimes Mook comes off as like but like Mook is like a far more like softer soul than I think sometimes like the presentation comes out. Sometimes it's like fuck that shit, like literally like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, suck my
That shit, suck my dick.
You know,
Yeah.
like I think that is more so an end. That's more so a result than who it is. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think all those things he was saying before he said suck my dick was really what Mook's like or it is. I think you get to suck my dick, and then you might forget literally the 10, 20 words you heard before and focus on that part. So I would say like that's the thing that like sometimes Mook will make Mook has a lot of those like statements, but you miss the thing in which like he was
Where
pouring out
actually
his
say
heart,
it, yeah.
you know, where he was giving you all of that. So I think that's the one thing like Mook don't get. Like I'd be like, damn, Mook is really like mad at him, like far more emotional. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like on regular episodes, that's why maybe it's more so going back. Like he gave up more than Mook because I think Mook gives up a lot. Like off the regular, like just random. Like this happened in '99 type
Bro,
shit.
it's a long life, bro. Like I lived a long life, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, when Omatic said that, I was just like, yeah, I feel you, bro. Like niggas have lived long lives, especially. Okay, I can retract my statement publicly now.
been waiting for
Because on an earlier
I've been waiting for this.
No, for
I
sure.
can't lie. I've been waiting for this.
I'm already shocked. I can retract my statement now. I can retract my statement now. Because after thinking about, like, I waited for all the episodes to drop before I watched any of them. I watched Charles and John first. I watched them in the way that we recorded them. Other than the fact that I watched Omatics before mine. Because I waited to watch mine because I don't really like listening to myself talk or watching myself. So I watched Charles' jump and I was just like, okay. Then I watched Omatic's jump and then I was like, kill. And then I watched my jump and I was like, fuck. Me and Omatic are dead ass 47-year-old divorcees in actual timing. You know what I'm saying?
I see the tweet that said 36 with no kids is younger than 26 with 3 kids.
That's a fact.
And or 38 with no kids younger than 26.
And Omatic was old before he had kids, bro.
And I said this on the pod and y'all killed me.
But I was just like,
No. I'm still killing it because
for sure.
I think
But it's just like only reason I say we lived a long life is because like imagine like we didn't even tackle everything that we've been through in our lives in them episodes. And my John was almost 2 hours. Your John was almost 2 hours, if not 2 hours.
We did 3. We cut it down.
Yeah, exactly. We did 3. I feel like 2.
out there for
So it's just like, bro, like,
Sun up, sun
you know what I'm saying? And the amount of shit that we didn't touch on, I'm just like, god damn, Slim, like. Niggas have lived lives, and but it's just like at the same time, it's just like I'm not the only nigga that's lived a life. Like learning shit Islamically, like I'm looking down on somebody because that don't got no shoes, but it's somebody with no feet. It's somebody with no feet, but it's somebody with no legs. Somebody with no legs, but it's somebody that's dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like at the end of the day, like that's how I look at it. It's just like, kill, I'm fucked up right now, but it's somebody way worse than me. And the person I'm thinking about, who probably got it worse than me is somebody that's definitely got it worse than them. So who the fuck am I to complain?
fucks with those vibes. That's not a popular sentiment these days, but
It's not at all.
I definitely fuck with the vibes for sure.
I mean, I'm it's Islamic quote, babe.
Right. So what is and this question has nothing to do with the former, but what's a personal flaw that you're aware of about yourselves that you may or may not be currently trying to fix?
I'm stubborn and I don't care.
Are you trying to fix that?
No.
I'm just talking about life.
Just in general, like, yeah, like I don't have no problem with the idea that like I'll go down on my hill. It will be what it is. Like, and low key, I
That's
think
why I love Charles personally.
And I think there's certain like this is my hot take. I think there needs to be some sort of irrationalness to any person for them to do anything past the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to be like, hey, this is step A, this is step B, do 1, 2, and then get 3. That works for like 2% of the population. Anyone
And that's just being lenient.
Anyone who's ever going to not even do something worthwhile, but anybody who's just going to live a life that isn't just regular or in the name of other people is going to have to be irrational. Like, and I think to be irrational, you have to be a certain bit of stubborn, because somebody's going to be like, "No, do it this way," or "No, there's a formula," and you have to be like, "No, this works better," even if it doesn't. Like, different as well. I think the quote is different is always better. Different isn't always better, but better is always different.
I heard you say that in New Orleans because you heard somebody talking about you was talking about somebody with a podcast. I think it was either Peach or Brad, one of them.
So for me, like I think my boss said that to me like a couple months ago, and I don't think that's ever gonna leave me, because I truly believe that, like, yo, a lot of things are different. doesn't make it better, but everything that is actually better, it's not like something else. Now things come along that are, are mimicking that, but it's always be Facebook. Facebook is a mimic of, I guess, Black Planet, MySpace whatever,
sure.
Bebo, whatever thing you want to. Yeah. But it was different.
Facts.
What was different? It was exclusive for the longest. So you had to have some network, some school, some job, something.
You had to be plugged.
You had to be. So that was the thing that made it different. Wasn't necessarily better, but and then because it was different, it became better. So I look at that with almost everything. I kind of look at the world now like what makes it different, and ultimately that's what's going to be the thing that makes it better or not.
Okay. Jay? Shall I repeat the question?
Please.
What's a flaw of yourself
What's
that
a
you
personal
had?
flaw that you're aware of that you may or may not be currently working on?
Oh, why you too good?
No, I'm not too good.
You just trying to pick one.
Pick one.
I like mine's better. Being too good, right?
Hey, Slim.
You got no
You
personal
want me to go
flaws?
first, bro?
Let Mook go first.
Yeah,
I just got a few more questions that I want, and then we're going to wrap up.
All right.
All right?
There's a personal flaw.
That you may or may not be currently working on that you are aware
Oh, no, I'm
of.
definitely working on it.
Okay.
My horse ways.
Okay.
My whorish ways.
Yeah, niggas was a rolling stone, baby.
I'm about to say,
Oh, no, I'm definitely doing better
said
these
you ain't
days.
got no youngest, so which
I
one
would
is
say
it?
he's doing better.
I can't say that. I ain't got no.
So
I
which
don't be claiming no youngins. I'm put it that way.
interesting. Very
There's
interesting.
some jumps on the line. Sometimes morals don't line up. Young lady I put over today, morals will line up. But
I don't mean to cut you off, but your answer just kind of goes straight into my next question, if you'll allow it.
let's do it.
All right. So, what does fatherhood look like for you, right? Because you've alluded to wanting to be a stepdad over the last year or so. So, is
This
that
is
something
definitely a Miles question.
Yeah. So,
Jesus Christ, I didn't
is
even know that.
is that something that you see for yourself?
Being a stepfather?
Yes.
I'm not a stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up. First of all,
I feel it.
secondly,
I'm the dad that stepped up.
yeah, because it's just like, bro, obviously your mother choosing. But I mean, all right, I'm gonna get off that. But I wouldn't mind being, I guess you could say, a stepdad. But at the same time, it's just like, the fuck you want me to do about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she already has a kid. We vibing. And like, that little nigga ain't got nothing to do with me. He do, but he don't. And it's just like, at the same time, it's like, I'm good with kids. Like, I don't think that's something like people
I'm
don't
good
know
with
about
kids.
Like, know about Mook. Like, I'm actually.
Luke loves the kids.
I love the kids.
Facts.
So it's just like, and I got a niece and a nephew that I try to like raise on my own, like a part of raising. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm with the shit.
Okay.
I don't mind being a stepfather, but I definitely want my first child to be somebody else's first child. That would be a dream. But fatherhood for me gonna look sweet.
And this is my last question, and we're gonna wrap it up. So, some unexpected technical difficulties occurred during our recording of the 201st episode of High Codes Podcast, where we missed out on a couple things. So we do apologize for that, but we will be back. We'll recap possibly in 202. That might have to be a special episode, considering 202 is a major road in our city. Yeah, again, sorry about that. I hope you tune in for the next one. Please tune in for the 201st, and if you need to, please do a nice little recap of the solo episodes up to the 200. We really appreciate the support up until this point. Again, we're sorry about the tech difficulties. You know, machines will be machines. We can't really control that. But yeah, see y'all soon. All right, so we all turned 30 this year, right?
You already 30.
We all turned 30 this year. So what does that look like in your mind, and how do you envision the next decade, like beyond the show?
Money.
I like that. That's the first time I feel like I heard you say something like that. Money. No, for me, 30 is about wanting to do the things I want to do. I feel as though 20 was about being in a position. So like career-wise, relationship-wise, it was about putting in putting in the work to be in position. So like,
Yeah, we were recording in our old high school
you
auditorium.
know what I'm saying?
right
Like,
now.
I know where I'm at.
Never would have thought about this.
I think this next decade is about being like, all right, so I know what the infrastructure is. Now I need to execute all my plans, all my goals, all the things that I've been like,
Money.
oh, you know, I'm happy about. Now they got to come to fruition. And I think that's what 30 is about. Like, no more just
Winging
planning.
it.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I think there's a certain level of preparedness that you have to have of everything. But once again, you need to be irrational. So that's what 30 is about. More irrationalness, if that's a word.
30s for me. I think I gotta piggyback off the Charles. Like, you know, the foundation has been laid. The saying that I love the most is 30s are your 20s with money. I think that's really what it's gonna be.
Shout out to the police officer that stopped us that said that.
Yeah. So I mean, the money's getting up at this point. Like, if I was 19 turning 20 right now, I'd be like, what the fuck am I about to do? But I'm 29 turning 30 and I got the bread, you know what I mean? I'm all right, you know what I mean? The kids is here. Really just trying to provide a stable foundation for them in my 30s. And just, you know, they took a little away from me, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to do some things that I couldn't do in the latter part of my 20s. Because I had the kids, but, you know, I do anything for them, so I'm not tripping off that. But it's giving, you know, that, more money, more stability for the kids, more travel, ownership. And you said besides the pod, but like, you know,
You can't think about it. You gotta think about the pod,
yeah,
man.
let's make this shit a thing, man.
But for me, bro, just money. Because I feel like I spent most of my 20s doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't really focused on nothing. And like now, nigga actually got a career. Never saw me as a career nigga. Never. A lot of shit has happened in my life this year that I never thought about. So I got a career now. So money for sure. Turning 30, just building, resetting my foundation. You know what I'm saying? And being more business focused. Cause like, I've been in a relationship my whole 20s, bro. I was in a 5-year relationship and then 2 2-year relationships. That's 9 years. I'm 29 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I turned 30 this year. This is my first year being single. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? And shit has gone amazing. You know what I'm saying? I can't even hold you. So I'm just focused on being able to be a husband and father. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more so what I'm thinking about. Because, like, all this doing your shit don't really matter to me. That's why I was just like, money. It's just like, I'll be able to provide for my family. I'm good enough with that, champ.
I feel it.
I don't really want anything extra.
I love it. I love it. Man, it's an honor to be here with y'all, man.
Thank you.
throughout this
Just saying,
entire
thank you.
deal.
Thank me. Hey, shout out Mr. Ingram.
Tell him we getting,
Shout out KB.
tell him we getting kicked out right
Shout
now.
out
man.
Mr. Larry.
Oh, yeah,
Tell
we-
him, tell him we getting kicked out right
They
now.
told us we need to wrap it up and get out of here.
got 10
We got
minutes.
10 if we need 10.
That's all right.
All right, cool.
They probably
so-
got some
more.
match in this jump.
So you got one. You got like one more question, KD.
Yeah, because the camera about to wrap anyway. You can get one in.
You get one last question then. Yeah, get your
They
final
wanted to
question
kick
in.
us out, man. Shout out to the youth. Shout out to the youth
Shout out
for
to the
sure.
youth.
I can't even see the youth.
Oh my God, I used to be a youth.
Buddy.
All right, so look.
He's still a youth, depending on who you ask.
No way.
Nigga said no way.
There's actually like 2 more questions, so I'm gonna see if we can get away with 2.
We got 10 minutes.
I know, right? So keep that in mind.
Camera
That's right.
don't.
Keep it in mind. Just keep it in
I'm
mind.
being quick.
You're sick.
Camera
Alright, so
got
look.
6.
Camera got 6.
Damn, I lost it.
Come on,
All
Kenneth.
right. So look, all right. Each one of y'all, and this is like, keep in mind the time that we got left. Can you provide a challenge for each of your co-hosts that you would like to see them get done by the end of the year?
Ooh, I want Omatic to be more assertive.
Okay.
Assertive.
Assertive.
Okay.
I want
Your
to
sobriety is
be
your
more
own problem,
assertive as far as pushing this out to others.
Okay.
And I want Mook to be more of a, like he said, a business presence. Mook to be like, hey, this
I
is
definitely have not been.
this is what
talking.
this is what I want. This is what I want as far as business wise. I be knowing what he wants as far as content, but I would like to know what as far as things
We
Mook
haven't
want
had a
business
business
wise.
talk in a while.
Those are mine. Come on, man. The man says all the time, bro.
I would retweet the same thing on Charles because me and him, Jolly, got the same demeanor when it comes to this business shit. Like me and him talk personally when it comes to business, but like when it comes to like everybody else being involved with it, we don't necessarily share our opinions. We just let them do them, and if it work, it work. If it don't, then we just like laugh back low key and be like, "Told you so." But not necessarily I told you so because it's just like us fucking up is us fucking up, not like you fucking up. Like bad idea, but like it looks bad on all of us type shit. So it's just like all of us. Like I want all of us to be more assertive personally. You know what I'm saying? I want all of us to be like, all right, you want this, you want this, you want this. So what's the middle ground for all three of us being happy? Okay. I'm pretty, like all of us have great ideas. Like that's the kill. Like none of us really approach the table with bad ideas. But I'm rapping. I'm at it.
Stuck on assertive. Like I'm not assertive, guy.
You do, but like you passive aggressive.
Yeah, passive aggressive. That's what I feel. I feel as though like you be knowing
feel as though
and
you're
then
assertive.
you be pushing off towards the when you know. I tell you, certain people got certain responsibilities. More is asked for others. So like when it's your time.
Is he giving us delegation battle?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. For the things that need to be done, like you know your vibes and your bag, and when it's like, yo, this is what we need.
All right, if that's the case,
Like when Charles doesn't feel like editing it, he'd definitely be like, "Hey Mook, I feel like you should edit this."
if that's the case, I just don't want anybody to feel away when I do that. And if I come off asshole-ish in it,
That's more about communication than anything.
I mean,
James, if you talking to me, I never come think it's asshole.
I don't know.
Whenever I ever say, bro, you're an asshole.
Never
right
said
now.
that.
Exactly.
I can sense tones in text. You can always sense a tone me in text.
For sure.
I mean, but you know me though. I'll just be like, all right, James. If I call you James, then it's just like, all right, bro, you got it.
Was it for the podcast or just in general?
In general.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
See,
know,
we can't
man.
separate the pod from personal shit crazy. And Katie got mad at me during my solo episode when I said that.
What's your second question, man?
Yeah, like I don't know, man.
We on this too
I don't know.
long.
Shit. I don't know. I don't know. Accept me for me. That's what I need from them. Accept me for me.
God. All right, so look, so like I said in the beginning of the
Likewise, you
episode,
bitch chasing it.
See? You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we don't need. You know what I mean?
look. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, man, we back home, back to our roots. As we sit in this building, as we sit in this auditorium, man, what's your most fondest memory that sticks out to you in this building?
Damn.
I know, right?
Well, for me,
Okay.
this is like my fourth time saying, well, for me, that room over there, it's like across the hall. I mean, I was that guy in band. Like I spent my entire 06 to 2010 across from there, man. So you know, I've had good times there, had bad times. Like I learned a new language over there. I've been on this stage performing and shit. Like I've done everything because of that. I mean, honestly, the band shit. And just meeting people, bro. It's 2,000 fucking people here at one point.
Yeah.
Like when shit starts out in the first week, it's like it's like a large amount of people here. Like you meet a lot of people.
400
Yeah,
at the
and they're just like, look at how you have in the auditorium.
Yeah,
Shit's crazy.
you know what the funniest thing I would say about just being in this building? It reminds me of like growing up. Like legitimately, because it was the place
So
where,
niggas were preteens and went
you know what I'm
out there
saying?
whole
It was the
ass
place where I
like
spent
teenagers.
a lot of my like
And this bitch for
formative
8
years,
hours.
and I didn't know it. Like I said, we're all turning 30 this year, so now I can look back a decade and be like, oh shit, when I was 16, 17, 15, 18, like that's what that was. Like I don't think I realized at the time, but it's like y'all my friends from that time. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned what it meant like to have brothers, to have friendships, to do a lot of different things. And like screw the fights, screw the relationships, screw the go-go's, the parties, all that. It's more so like the idea that like, yo, I became like the Charles I know I am here.
Right.
Whether I want to admit it or not, it's just like, damn, this is where it happened. So yeah, I think that's the thing I remember about being in here. What you got? Oh, that was you.
My journey to Islam started here. That's one. Learning about Mansa Musa and all that. Mali Kingdoms, all that. That's one now. Two, like Charles said, I'm just piggyback off that one because it's just like that's the one thing that lasted after high school. All the bitches and all that, like that shit ain't matter. Like it was
Came and went.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So all the bitches, like all the shit, like all the dances, like you said, all that shit don't matter, bro. But like the actual connection I got with like my actual mans or like the kids, like to say this day your tribe. You know what I'm saying?
Like that, the kids are saying that?
Yeah,
the kids gonna be alright, man. The kids gonna be alright.
You know what I'm saying? Like a nigga found this tribe here. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a beautiful thing, and it's like dead ass takes a tribe to make a tribe, and we definitely about to get kicked off
Stay
the
in school,
stage.
kids.
So does 10. So we wrapping up. We can sign off. You know what I mean?
Sign off, Katie.
So look, as we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 201 of High Codes Podcast.
At the
my name's
Mecca.
KD. You already know who you're working with now. We see y'all next time, man.
Pieces, champ. Let's get out of here.
Yes.